Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Laz. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be going into the talents of the Enhancement Shaman for the Burning Crusade. So today I'll be showing you three different specs. I'll be showing you the standard spec, the Totem Twisting spec, and the PvP spec that you're going to want to take for TBC. So first, let's get into the standard spec. You're going to go 5 out of 5 into Ancestral Knowledge, which increases your mana by 5%. Very helpful. 5 into Thundering Strikes, which improves your chance to get a crit strike with your weapon attacks by 5%. Always going to want to crit. 2 out of 2 in Improved Ghost Wolf. That instant cast Ghost Wolf is very nice for farming and other things. Shamanistic Focus. After landing a melee crit strike, you enter a focus state. The focus state reduces the mana cost of your next shock spell by 60%. The less mana that you're going to be using, the more mana that you're going to be able to use. Going to be 2 out of 2 out of Enhancing Totems, which increases the effects of your Strength of Air and Grace of Air totems by 15%. Very helpful for your raid and your party. 5 out of 5 out of Flurry, increases the attack speed by 30% of your next 3 swings after dealing a crit. As an enhancement, you crit very often, so you're always going to be in Flurry, and the more Flurry procs you get, the more Wind Fury procs that you're going to be able to have. You're going to go up 1 out of 1 in Spirit Weapons. You're basically taking this for the reduced threat generated by your melee attacks by 30%, because Enhanced Shamans use a lot of threat. Next, we'll be going 3 out of 3 in Elemental Weapons. Increases the damage caused by your Rockbiter weapon by 20%, your Wind Fury weapon effect by 40%, increases the damage caused by your Flame Tongue and Frostbrand weapon by 15%. Really, you're taking this for the Wind Fury because it's all that you're really going to want on your weapons, because Wind Fury is absolutely insane. Next, we'll be going 1 out of 2 Improved Weapon Totems. For the selfish spec, you are not thinking of your party, you're thinking of yourself. You want to get as much damage as you want out, so you're only going to be taking 1 out of 2 just to get down the tree. Next, we'll be going 3 out of 3 Mental Quickness, which reduces the mana cost of your instant cast Shaman spells by 6% and increases your spell damage and healing by an amount equal to 30% of your attack power. So the more attack power you build, the more spell power you have, so the more damage that your Earth Shock is going to do, Flame Shock, Frost Shock, etc. Next, we'll be on 5 out of 5 Weapon Mastery, which increases the damage you deal with all weapons by 10%. Very helpful. Next, we'll go on to Storm Strike, which is your main melee weapon damage. Instantly attack with both weapons. In addition, the next 2 sources of nature damage dealt to the target are increased by 20%. This helps yourself, this helps your elemental shamans, and this helps anyone who uses nature damage. Next, we'll be going into Dual Wield, because you're going to be wanting to dual wield in TBC. TBC Enhancement Shamans get the ability to finally dual wield, and we're finally able to actually pump out some damage. Next, we'll be going into Dual Wield Spec, which increases your chance to hit while dual wielding by an additional 6%. Next, we'll be going into Unleashed Rage, which causes your crit hits with melee attacks to increase all party members' melee attack power by 10% if they're within 20 yards of yourself. This lasts 10 seconds. Another party buff. Next, we're going into Shamanistic Rage, which is what you're going to want to pop basically on cooldown. Unless you aren't having mana issues, you really only pop this when you're in my opinion. Some people like to pop this on cooldown, but I don't need to pop it on cooldown because I am very conservative with my mana, even with Totem Twisting, even with pumping and popping everything as soon as they come off of cooldown. So next, we're going to be going 2 into Convection, which reduces the mana cost of your Shock, Lightning, and Chain Lightning spells. Really taking this for the shock reduction. Next, we're going into Concussion, which increases the damage done by your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Shock spells by 5%. Once again, we're really going into this for the shock spells, because we don't ever Chain Lightning, you don't ever cast Lightning Bolt. These are really just for the shock spells. Next, we're going 3 out of 3 Call of the Flame, and then we're going to be going into 5 out of 5 Reverberation, which is the main reason why we're in this, is because it reduces the cooldown of your shock spells by 1 second. That's a lot. So if you go this spec, you get about 2 more shocks in compared to the Totem Twisting spec, so you're going to be pumping a little bit more damage out. And for this next part, this is up to you. This is a personal choice if you'd like. I prefer to go Elemental Focus if I were to go this build, because after landing a crit strike with Fire, Frost, or Nature, you enter Clear Casting State, and the Clear Casting State reduces the mana cost of your next 2 damage spells by 40%. Or you can go into Improved Fire Totems, which reduces the delay before your Fire Totem activates by 1 second. If you go into that, it reduces it by 2 seconds and decreases the threat generated by your Magma Totem by 50%. You can either go that, or you can go the Clear Casting. If you choose to go Clear Casting, you can also go back over into the Enhancement tree and go 1 more into Improved Weapon Totems to increase that melee attack power bonus of your Wind Fury and the damage with the Flame Tongue Totem. So next up, we're going to be going into the Totem Twisting build, which is the spec that I'm going to be most of TBC. So we're going to go 5 out of 5 into Ancestral Knowledge, 5 out of 5 into Thundering Strikes, 2 into Improved Ghost Wolf, Shamanistic Focus. We're going to be going into Enhancing Totems for that effect increase of the Strength of Earth and Grace of Air. We're going to be going into Flurry, Spirit Weapons, Weapon Totems to help that party out, Elemental Weapons. We're going to be going into Weapon Mastery to increase that damage from your weapons, Mental Quickness, Dual Wield, Storm Strike, 3 out of 3 in Dual Wield Spec, 5 out of 5 in Unleashed Rage and Shamanistic Rage once again. And instead of going into the Elemental tree, we'll be going into the Resto tree. We're going to be going 5 out of 5 in Tidal Focus. We're really just taking this to get into the tree. It reduces the mana cost of your healing spells by 5%. It's a little helpful whenever you get in those dicey situations where you need to back off and heal yourself real quick. It's very helpful to be able to self-heal and not take a lot of mana. Next, we'll be going into Totemic Focus, 5 out of 5, which reduces the mana cost of your totems by 25%. Since you are going to be totem twisting and dropping that Wind Fury and dropping that Grace of Air every 10 seconds, you're going to be wanting to use as little mana as you want when you're dropping totems, so that 25% reduction is absolutely insane and very, very good. Next, we'll be going into Totemic Mastery, which increases the radius of your totems that affect friendly targets by 30 yards. So, for example, like on a fight like Mags at the very beginning when you're fighting trash, if you have a melee that's on the other side of the room in your party, you can drop that totem. They might be able to get it that far away, which is very, very nice. And last, we're going to be going into 3 out of 3 Nature's Guidance. This increases your chance to hit with melee attacks and spells by 3%. This is very nice because you get free hit from your talents instead of having to go and farm extra hit when you are getting gear. And with the last two, you're going to be going into Concussion. Increases the damage done by your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Shock spells by 2%. It's not the best, it's not a lot, but any damage done that you can get increased from talents, you're going to want to take it. So last but not least, we're going to go into the PvP tree. This is a little bit different compared to the other ones, but with the PvP tree, you're going to go 5 and a 5 out of Ancestral Knowledge again. You're going to be going into Thundering Strikes, the Improved Ghost Wolf, Shamanistic Focus, and instead of taking the Enhancing Totems, you're going to be taking the Guardian Totems, which increases the amount of damage reduced by your Stone Skin Totem, Windwall Totem by 20%, and reduces the cooldown of your Grounding Totem by 2 seconds. It's very great because that 2-second Grounding Totem reduction is nice. The more Grounding Totems you can put out, the more spells that aren't going to be hitting you or your partner if you're in arenas, or anyone on your team if you're in BGs, and increases the amount of damage reduced by your Stone Skin Totem and Windwall by 20%, which is very, very nice. You're going to be wanting to drop those protection totems whenever you're playing in arenas instead of dropping the Wind Fury totem or the Grace of Air totem. You're going to be wanting to drop as many protection totems as you can and get as much damage out from your melees. So next we'll be going into Flurry, which we've already been doing in every spec. And instead, we're going to be going into Toughness, which increases your armor value from items by 10% and reduces the duration of movement slowing effects on you by 50%. More armor overall better, and reduction on the duration of movement slowing effects by 50% is very, very good. If someone hits you with a slow, it's not going to be super ant-like and super slow, but you're going to be a little bit faster than the typical slow, which is very nice because you're going to be able to get up to them and whack them more. Next, we'll be going into Spirit Weapons, Elemental Weapons, Weapon Mastery. We're not going to be going into Improved Weapon Totems. We're going to be going into Mental Quickness, 1 into Dual Wield, 1 into Storm Strike, 1 into Dual Wield Spec, 5 out of 5 in Unleashed Rage, 1 in Shamanistic Rage, 5 out of 5 title focus with that reduced mana cost for your healing, which is also pretty nice in arenas. You're going to be able to heal yourself more in a little bit. Totemic focus, reducing the cost of those totems because you're going to be dropping tons of totems in arenas. Totemic mastery, 1 out of 3 for the healing grace. It reduces the threat generated by your healing spells by 10% and reduces the chance your spells will be dispelled by 10%. My bad, it was 5% and 10%. So reduces the threat generated by your healing spells by 5% and reduces the chance your spells will be dispelled by 10%. You're really taking this for the reduction on your chance for spells to be dispelled. You don't really generate threat when you're in PvP. And last but not least, we're going to be taking 3 out of 3 in your chance to hit with melee attacks and spells. So that was your standard build, your totem twisting build, and your PvP build. If this guide was helpful, please drop a like. If you got any questions, if you have any videos that you'd like me to see or me to come out with, go ahead and comment those. Let me know. I'll try and get as much stuff as I can and put a video together. But if you guys liked it, hit the like. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.